Feeling myself. Oh. Waiting on y'all to come on and get loaded up on Zoom. Oh. You know what? That's why you always cut off, because you keep on shifting my camera.
Oh, my bad.
Hold up. Boy, where we at? Give us a second, y'all. I'm trying to make sure we are both on. Hey, Camille. Ooh, who's going? There we go. Trying to make sure we both on YouTube screen. You still get cut off. Okay, there we go. There we go.
Yes.
Who feeling they self? Hey.
Hey, Paul.
All right.
All right. We all feeling
Oh, I stopped the world. Hold up, y'all. Let me go ahead and say it. I stopped the world. World stop.
Oh, got it. And you had the face and everything. It was good.
Hey everybody.
Guys. Oh my goodness. We are back for another Couch Conversations. And I'm excited about this one.
Why are you excited, girl? Why are you excited?
Well, that's a big part of it.
Oh, okay. Okay, I guess I'm excited.
No, you're excited. Yes, I'm excited about that too, because we love to do giveaways, and somebody is going to win a conversation with yours truly and Ultimate as well. So I'm really excited about that, because we're just gonna I'm always excited about this, because I think we just have conversation that needs to be had that hasn't been had. Hey, Erica, Michelle, Nadina, I see you. Okay.
Because you know what? No. Is it because of the title, y'all? I mean, for real. Y'all saw the title. You know, should hubby be involved? To be or not to be, that is the question.
That is the question.
We're talking about what it looks like, you know, with support versus no support, with working with the husband, then not working with him, or just kicking him out the box.
Yeah.
Period, right?
Kicking him out the box.
We're having real conversation, right?
Yeah. No, it's true. And I think it was important, you know, August and I talked like, look, we got some stuff to tell. We got some stuff, you know, in our boxes.
Yes, we do.
About what it looks like for us when it comes to our marriages and our husbands. And we know that you guys are going to relate. So as we're talking, let us know. Send to us those hearts, those likes that you're feeling, that you can relate. Like, hold up, that scenario looks good in my house. You know, so let us know how you're feeling. Let us know in the comments. And everybody definitely let us know you're here. Okay, KKK is the ultimate question for some folks. It is, Camille, and I think that's why we have such a synergy already just starting off the bat, because it is, you know, what does that involvement look like on what scale and what level? You asked that question on your Facebook page, August, and some people are like, well, I think it depends. I think this is a really important question. And that depends, or that gray area, is some of the stuff that we're going to get into today.
Yes, absolutely. So before we go too far, because we always got new people coming into the mix and we're constantly promoting this thing and putting it out here. So for the Couch Convo, you have me. I'm August Crenshaw. Get ready for some for real deal Holyfield information and knowledge around business, mindset, strategy, sales, any of those things. We're going to talk about anything and everything that comes with that from me. And then we have...
Hey, I'm Imani Aisha. For those of you who don't know, hey, Damari. And I am a marriage coach. And so for me, it's a real conversation in conjunction with, while you're building your business, what it looks like in terms of communication, getting that support, getting heard, getting understood, getting what you need, being able to request and get that from your spouse in the midst of building your business is a game changer in both realms. And so that's what we're here to do, y'all.
Absolutely. And so today's topic, we already said it. We dropped it out there.
Yeah.
It's about that support. But before we get into that, let's just make sure that we give them our typical spiel, our announcements. We're going to move through it really quickly. So this container right here has a whole bunch of names of people who have been helping to get this word out. So if you have shared the video, tag people here, attended with us live, then you guys are the ones who get entered into the drawing. And being here, you get an entry. Tagging someone, for every person that you tag, you get an entry. And for those of you who share it, you get your name entered in 3 times. If you're here and you're watching with us live, then let us know. Say hi, make a comment, introduce yourself. That way we don't have to do a lot of legwork and be like, who was on the line? Yeah, so just do that. And so today we're drawing so that someone can get a free session with me and Imani. We're going to do this again in August. So share the video out now because we're going to do it again and somebody else can win. Absolutely. But let's go ahead and kick this thing off. And we figure that real life stories are the best way to go at this. And we're going to talk, but you guys put your questions. You'd be like, wait a minute, well, how did you handle this in your journey? How did that go? Or what do you think about this? Start putting your questions in because we'll either be answering them as we're going, or we're going to make sure that we definitely tie it all in at the end.
Yeah.
Now the question is, who goes first?
I know. I was like, we should have rock paper scissors in the beginning. Valencia. Hey, Valencia and Cassandra. I gotta take my shoes off for this, y'all. This is how.
Yeah. Get cozy. Get cozy. Let me kick my foot off.
That's how August knows how I do. But
couch conversations, y'all.
But
you guys want to let them vote. Who goes first?
Whose story you want to hear first? We both have various stories.
Yeah, we do. Mine, so let's maybe give them the dynamic. Okay. Mine is a husband that works with me to build my business, and yours is?
Mine does not work with me, but supports me in my business.
So which one do you want to hear first? Put the votes. Come on, vote. Say something. Imani or August? August.
Give us an eye for Imani.
Yeah, I voted for Imani last time.
Salty. It's a little bit salty. Yeah. I chose Imani last time, so I say August this time. Damari says Imani. I feel like it's tiebreaker, but
somebody break the tie.
Break the tie.
Okay.
Work with. Okay.
Work with. Damn. All right. Tiebreaker. I feel freaking special. Okay, so you guys look. So here's my dynamic, and let's talk about what this looks like for real. So let me give you just real live raw footage.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, let me explain. When I first started doing my online business, my husband did not work with me. He was the breadwinner, going out there, getting to the money. And I just need to put it out there, ladies, because this does affect the dynamic of our spouse's support.
Yeah.
I spent a shit ton of money once I launched my business. $3,000 here, $100 there, $297 there, $6,000 here, $1,000 there, $300 there, and then there was these little miscellaneous bills that were popping up. $20 a month, $60 a month, $250 a month. I was bleeding money when I first started my business. But y'all know how I came to my husband, right? I was like, we're here in Houston all by ourselves. We ain't around no family or nothing no more. And I done sat down and I've been quiet and I done found myself. I know where I'm put on the planet. I'm supposed to be a coach and I'm launching this business. And then I sat down for 4-ish months and wrote 3 books. So y'all know that means I made how much money? How much money did I make, y'all? The first 3 to 4 months in business, y'all, how much money did August Crenshaw make? I'm interested to see what they put in the comments for that one. And KK said,
$1 million. No.
Yeah, I'm a quadrillionaire now. So can you imagine now? My husband, he worked contractor work, so he took on a lot more. Donuts, LOL. He took on a lot of extra work. He worked a lot of long hours. He said $20. Hey, somebody gave me some money.
$20.
My daughter ain't give me no money. She gave me no money. But anyway, so let's just think about this dynamic. I'm not bringing in any money. Yeah. I did make some money off of book sales. I probably made from 3 books, you guys. I might have made a total of about $150, within that first quarter. So I made something, but I thought I was doing the right thing. This is what we don't want you to do. So from the business coaching side, I don't want you to be in your own head. And I've researched, you guys, and I was not like the typical DIYer who looked at a lot of videos and then was like, oh, but how can I do it? I was like, well, if I mess this up, I mess it up. And if the cover don't look good, but at least I made the cover. Mm-hmm. I mean, think about it, 4 months to write 3 books. Yeah. I was beasting. Yeah. And so I'm proud of what I'm doing, right? But when my husband would come home, then he's worn out and he's tired, but I need your help. I need you to help with the kids. I need you to not be expecting me to have made dinner, every single day. But he like, you here all day. What did you do? And I'm like, what you mean what I did? Shit, I've been like in corporate America, I've been at this computer for literally anywhere from 10 to 14 hours. And so and at that time I did put a little bit of daycare in the mix.
Yeah.
You know, even though for the most part my kids have always been with me. And so I'm the one who got up and took them and dropped them off and came back and tried to work and brainstorm. And I'm writing my books, editing my books, doing all of this stuff. And so it was kind of, but here it is in the background. He was a supportive husband. But this is what support looked like for my husband. You know, I was doing some research and I saw this lady, and you need to do live video. You know, I was doing some research. You need to go live on Periscope. You need to go live on Facebook. You know, he was like, okay, you know, I was doing some research and you need to open up an Instagram account. And so I'm like, wait a minute, I'm only one person and I can't do all of those things. And so what ended up happening is that he started saying that he would help me.
Yeah.
And he inserted himself, because let me be very, very clear. We have been a dynamic couple who've helped each other with entrepreneurial endeavors since we've been together. I was a hairstylist when he met me. He had his own lawn care service and many other things. So we were used to the dynamics of entrepreneurship, but the things we did were always making money. And whereas this one in particular, I wasn't. Well, as we kind of fast forward, so I don't tell y'all every little increment detail of our story, we started getting our bearings, right? And he started realizing where he could help me at in the business. Yeah. But we still had this shift, this dynamic that we had to work through that was like, excuse me, we both doing this business, but I'm still doing all the wife stuff, you know, the traditional stereotypical wife stuff. And I'm gonna need you to be in the kitchen a little more, wash the dishes a little more, do the laundry a little bit more. And it was like, he even used to tell me, I ain't finna be no stay-at-home dad. That's some corny ass shit. I got a man's man, y'all. He can do plumbing, mechanic work, paint, work on houses. So you could only imagine the kind of conversations that we were having. Hey, Tammy, that we were having in our household, and it was getting ugly. And I'm like, but wait a minute. You doing your business means that you got to work all the damn time, and you're going to be working and you're going to be trading time for hours. I could be making all these thousands of dollars, because you know how we get when we talking about our dream, right, ladies? I'll be making all these thousands of dollars coaching. I'm finna change our life. We finna travel the world. We're going to do all of this shit. You know what I'm saying? So you need to slow down on what you doing so that I can do what I'm doing. And it's like, so wait a minute. So what I'm doing ain't important? Mm-hmm. And so we were having these conversations. And now, fast forward even further to today, we 100% work with my business together. Now, the tricky part in this stage of the game is he's so involved in the process. Some of y'all don't even know if he posts for me. That's just how thorough he is. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. Facebook is my baby. Yeah. So I predominantly do that, but I'll go ahead and open up, you know, just some realness. Yeah. For those of you that like my content on Facebook, my husband manages my IG account, and
he knows her voice, y'all.
He really knows my voice. That stuff that you're looking for with the VA and all of that. Yeah. My husband does that, and he does it well. You will not know the difference. Matter of fact, I look at when I do it, and I'm like, shit, I don't get as many likes and stuff. Maybe my hashtag game ain't as strong.
Because you've been doing the research.
Yeah, I should leave it up. I should leave it alone. But he manages that for me, but he does other stuff with me in the background. And guess what? That still does not mean that we're in heaven in the relationship, because every once in a while he has a great idea that I don't like. Mm-hmm. And when I said, I'm finna come and get, I'm finna come to these questions. And guess what I have to do? Now, this is a major dynamic, and this is where Imani comes in to do this part of it. But could you imagine me having to tell him no and put my foot down? Because guess what? I'm still the CEO. Yeah. This is my business, and I run it. But having that conversation, it doesn't come off like that. Yeah. It's a conversation that's like, look, babe, you know what? I do think that that's a great idea that you brought to the table, and I appreciate it. However, with the direction that the company's going, with the budget, how this looks, that I'm not with it. And you know, sometimes those conversations, he comes and he gives me something back, and I'm like, dang, maybe I need to rethink that. But other times the conversation is, look, even if I'm wrong, then as a CEO, I'll stand on the fact that I'm wrong, but that's not the direction we're going to take it. Yeah. And so to get to this place where that dynamic shifts, where you work with your spouse, but then it's your business, and then he's working with you, but yet under you, but then still letting him be the king of his castle and let it be known that this is his home and that he's a man and he matters. That sometimes can be a tricky place to be in. So that's the dynamic of what it looks like for August Crenshaw, working in a home with Mr. Crenshaw. So I'll stop right there and let's see what they got to say, and then see, how Imani's going to flow with this bad boy.
While you're looking at that, you can look at that. I just want to say, I mean, at least you're having the conversation, because I know that there are some people that are not. They're avoiding having that conversation. They're like, well, I'm going to do what I want to do anyway. And the husband thought they were involved and you didn't implement it. And, people take it personally. And so whether it goes, quote unquote, well or it doesn't, just that you're having the conversation, when I know that there are people who are not, that's real too. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it's just as simple as that, because people start taking things personally.
Yeah.
Very much so, because the personal and the business, your marriage and your business being in your house, that's where it gets real jumbled up, that personal business. So.
And we see each other all day, every day. And our kids are homeschooled, so we see each other all day, every day. So you better be shown up in love in order to be able to do this. And so let me look. We say Kabi says he does a seamless job for you. Thank you, beautiful. Hello, love. You look. Thank you, Tammy, for the compliment. Yes. And then Kabi said, big dreams for you, but forgetting that needs and helps and extra hands. No, absolutely. And the thing that made this a lot easier, number one, you guys, is that I had to have a CEO mentality. So let's look at you'll give the marriage growth, and I'll give you guys the business growth. When I say a CEO mentality, I'm not talking about the ownership thing. The last example that I gave, I had to really go and look and say, wait a minute. I'm asking this man to support me, to believe in me, to be by me. And I have this big old dream, and I keep doing all of this stuff, and I keep spending all this money, but I'm not getting any results. Right. What do I do to get results? And so I became a very results-driven individual. And I want you all to challenge yourself and ask yourself that question. Am I a duty, task, list-oriented individual? Am I a thinking individual, or am I a results-driven individual? Because when you become results-driven, you be like, look, okay, I got to come up with my portion of this for this. So I got to come up with a brand. Let me create a product, and let me go ahead and be bolder. Let me get out there and sell it. Let me tell these people that it's available. Let me, forget not having any answers. Let me figure out how to make this link, how to do this, how to do it. Matter of fact, no, to hell with that. This has me spending money, and I'm not making money. I'm not going to use that anymore. Can I simplify the process? What can I do so that I can begin to lessen the burden? Because here it is. I can't expect him to work to make the money to do all of these different things and support me and work with me. Because at the end of the day, what I didn't realize is that I had so many wants, because I was so freaking bent out of shape about my dream, that it was actually teeter-tottering to a very selfish edge.
Yeah. And I think we don't always realize when we're being selfish about our babies, our businesses, and the two really colliding and what that looks like. And there are parts of your story that really parallel mine. The money spending, the conversation about, quote unquote, those domestic household. How many of you have tried to have those conversations about those domestic duties and things that need to happen around the house? Because real talk, it's more difficult. And this was an issue for me starting out. It gets very difficult to compartmentalize stuff when you work from home, okay? And for me, segueing into a bit of my story, for me, when the conversation started to happen around what was going to happen in the house, so the house looked like a tornado hit it, so people was eating whatever it was they were going to eat, so that there was clothes. You know what I mean? People had clean underwear and socks and whatever, so the basics, right? Because I was like, those are the basics for me. It was kind of clean. We ate and we had clean underwear. I mean, like that's what it was. And that's as much as I was trying to contribute at that time. But when you have a job, you talk about the corporate America, when I had a job, there was no laundry to be done at my job. There was no baby running around. No. There was no dishes right next to my cubicle, okay? So I could just focus in on work. And so when I started my business, And I spent money. And, you know, my husband's the type who's comfortable with investing in businesses and what it is that you want to do. Thank God, you know, he's that type of person. And so I remember a conversation, you know, I was having with him because I wanted to spend a couple $1,000s on this course. Because I was like, this is about to be my next level. I'm about to invest in this course. And it was I don't regret the investment because it was really valuable information that I currently still have. And when I came to my husband about it, I was like, well, okay. I said, babe, you know, I'm gonna invest in it. And he's very mad. So what's the course? How is it gonna help you in your business? How is it gonna help you make some money? How is it gonna help you grow? And I had those answers for him. We talked about in a few conversations about the due diligence. I had those answers for him. I said, this is what the trend is. This is what's going on. This is what I'm going to create. This is the time. I spent hours on a workbook and an outline, and I was like, I'm about to blow up, you know? And, you know, I had those, and he was like, okay, if you feel like this is what you want to do for your business, let's do this and let's invest in it. The timing was just off for me. I wasn't in a space to really make that work. There were certain things that I didn't understand about my business at the time. But we had that conversation, and when it came to investing, we could have that, and we could talk about the money in a very, very real way. And it wasn't like, oh, you about to spend my hard-earned dollars, because it was like, he's working and he's making more money than I am. You about to spend my hard-earned dollars on this. Right. You better make some money. You know, but it wasn't like my hard-earned dollars. But the going back into the beginning for me, one of the difficult things I think for both of us was he was out there working. He was always like, I'd be like, babe, you know, I felt kind of guilty, like I wasn't bringing the money in. Like, should I get a part-time job, like it's nights or weekends or something? And he was like, okay, so how much money do you think you're gonna make? You educated what $9-10 an hour? How many hours are you gonna work? It's not worth it. You know, what the potential for your business? Go with the business. And, you know, he talks to me like that kind of tough love, you know, that Brooklyn swag.
I love that.
Right. He's like, what is it? It doesn't make sense. He was like, why are you going to spend this time to make pennies when I'm making this money over here and you have the opportunity to grow your business? But the reality was that shit was hard for him. I knew that. I mean, as wives, I think we know how our spouses feel, because everything was it was coming on him. And after I had my baby and all of that, it was like, okay, you're the one holding this whole thing together financially until I'm bringing in something in my business. And there was a sense of urgency and a lack of patience that was coming from me. There was a guilt that was coming from me. There was I support you, but I'm still feeling some type of way, though I know I can't push your business to catapult. It can be difficult on me because I'm dealing with a lot of shit in my own job, and I'm coming home. And this was the dynamic of the home. And when you have that dynamic, because it's outside stuff, it's inner stuff that you're dealing with, for me as a wife, for him as a husband, and this new dynamic of me growing a business and me being outside of the home. And what is that going to look like? And there were times I was like, maybe I should quit this thing and go back. I don't even know if I'm hireable anymore. Like, can I find my resume on my computer again? Like, that is a gut wrench. That feels like the end for an entrepreneur. Like, when you're like, dang, do I have to go back to this job? And I would contemplate, and I would have that discussion with him, like, do you want me to do that? And he would always say no. And I was like, would that make things just easier and less burdensome for you, because I can see it even if you're not saying it. And that makes me feel some kind of way. You know, it was triggering some things in me. So for me, I was like, oh, am I gonna quit this thing? And I did it. I did not. And I knew that I had what I had to, that I can transform people's marriages and people's lives. I already knew that. I was connecting people as a child. I knew that I had that in me, but could it be a viable business? Could I make money off it? Could it be profitable? And could I really work with my husband in that, where I'm contributing in that way? Because I did want to do that. And, you know, he sat me down, he was like, look, and I know this is one of your favorite things that he said to me. He was like, look, woman, yes. He said, I can't believe in you more than you believe in you. So what you gonna do, right? And I was like, damn, that's one of those things that stuck with me, because he's over here doing everything despite whatever it is he's feeling. And I'm over here like, should I quit? It's like, woman, this is what we're doing it for.
I supported you this way. Now you're thinking about quitting.
Right. And I didn't see it that way, because inwardly I was like, dang it, when is the dial going to shift? You know, when are we going to get to the other side of this? And we had to have some real conversations, and the conversations continued as the dynamic started to shift, because he didn't really know what that meant or what it looked like, and neither did I. And one time he asked me, he said, well, what's going on in your business? Like, I don't know. I feel like I don't know what's going on. And see, here, ladies, I assumed that he didn't really want to know. I made the assumption. But he was like, I want, so, are you making calls? Who are you talking to? Are they potential, clients? Are you coming out with something else? Like, you're doing this event. What's this for? He would just see, I'd be like, look, I'm doing this event. I'm doing this to share. I'm doing it. He was like, okay, well, how does that all fit in?
Right.
And I didn't know he wanted to know. And so for him, he's not part of my business. He has his own dreams, his own entrepreneurial
endeavors.
Thank you. Endeavors. Hello.
Brain fart.
Okay. His own things that he's navigating, and I support him in that, how he needs. But it had to look like, this is what I need. For him, it was like, look, can you clean the tub? You know what I mean? A couple of weeks, I don't really want to do the bathroom. We alternate cooking. Thank God he can cook. And so some of the domestic, he can, Guyanese, y'all. His mom said Guyanese. And curry, right? But we navigate that together, and that took several conversations, and sometimes that dynamic even shifted depending on what we're doing. And so it wasn't over, but that's what support looks like in our household. That's what the dynamic looks like in our household, that I do talk to him about business, not about all of it. Like, this is what the funnels and this person, but enough where he feels like he's a part of it without feeling like he's necessarily dropped in it because it's not his thing. And that's like the biggest thing in our dynamic, that you guys have found your dynamic to work together in that way. And for him, it's like, I want to pursue this, but all of it is our business. All of it is our legacy.
Yes.
So that's really what it boiled down for and looked like for us, and some of the highlights of our dynamic, even though, like I said, we ain't gonna say everything, but what we can in this time. And that was a huge lesson, to not feel like, what's the conversations you're avoiding? What assumptions are you making about what your husband thinks and what you think he thinks, that are preventing you guys from actually connecting on this level, whether he's going to be fully involved in your business or whether you really need that support from your business. So I know.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, they're coming up. We see y'all.
Yeah, no, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Oh, wait a minute, hold up. This made a couple comments. Let's see. Oh, LOL, brain fart. You say that being able to separate business responsibilities, just like you did if you worked in an office, it can get tricky to explain. Heck, we have to revisit that conversation frequently at our house.
Yeah.
And girl, you already know that I may not be on you, but thank you, Tammy. I highly admire you in so many ways, but I will always follow you anywhere you go. I can't say stalk because that's scary. You're such a beautiful, and we do. We say, and I've learned that it's acostadora in Espanol. So yes, hashtag acostadora. You a stalker. Anyway. But that's the biggest thing, there's a couple of dynamics still between both of us. Is that, number one, it's so easy to assume that we know what our spouse is thinking or feeling, what their expectations are. We can't do that. Right. We can't do it, period. The other thing is that the dynamics of the support and what it looks like shifts as your business changes and it grows. And last but not least, it's also the involvement. Sometimes we just go in, I got this dream, I got this business, I'm going to do this. Yeah. And you might have came home and talked about what the stupid girl did in the lunchroom and who took your stuff and your boss that you don't like. But do you actively have conversations about what you're feeling in your business? And to be honest with you, most women do not. And you know why? Because at least when you went to work, what comes back from work is a paycheck.
Yeah.
There's something. And so unless you have some money that's really coming from the business, honestly, whether you realize it or not, subconsciously, you don't want to talk about your business until it's actually producing something.
Right.
And so you don't include them because you don't want to keep on telling them, hey, I launched this and this didn't work. I launched this and that didn't work, because you've already assumed that they're either going to want you to quit, get upset, think about it being their money, or maybe they even said some things in the past and you may have to be accountable. Did you start stuff and stop? Are you a false starter? Do you do a lot of different, every time you turn around, it's a different MLM and you ain't got nothing to, show for it. I know I was a serial MLMer, at some point, and just the bottom line is that if you don't position yourself to have the conversations, you can't grow beyond it. And I think that's the big thing. And I see your comment too, Valencia. We're gonna make sure we get Imani's side of the comments as well. But when it you have to. I think I'm almost lost my train of thought and how to make sure that I bring it back from acknowledging what she put on there is that you have to look at what we're talking about from the perspective of we don't need the shit to hit the fan.
No.
We are not, don't get me wrong. Some of you may really be in dire situations. We're not looking for you guys to be like, oh my God, we're 2 steps away from being divorced. A lot of you,
our business, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm a business coach, and the bottom line is that the vast majority of the time, while I'm in the midst of coaching a woman through her business, I'm helping you know everything you need to know about selling, about strategizing, about formalizing your products, about being able to get out there and attract your ideal clients so that you can start making money, that something comes up with your spouse. And so to be able to connect with someone and to be able to get, hey, Nico, and get some information to say, okay, well, this came up in my relationship, that is so freaking on point, especially as you're going through changes. Because sometimes we feel in some kind of way, ladies, because we hormonal. Yeah. Sometimes we feel in some kind of way because it's just the kids. Sometimes it's the spouse. Sometimes it's all of the above. Sometimes it's the clients. Mm-hmm. It could be so many different things. And so to have that support around your business and your marriage is priceless. So what we're doing is not about you saying, oh no, my marriage is good. I don't need no help with nothing. I'm gonna tell you just like this. Not all of y'all, because y'all know that I'm very blunt. My candor is off the chain. Yeah. Y'all a damn lie. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you a lie because I sat in a group with 9 to 15 women in it at different stages because it had open enrollment. And I'm gonna tell you right now that I can count on one finger how many women in that group were married that never brought up an issue with their spouse.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, at one point in my group, it got so intense, and that's when you were actually in the group with me, and that it wasn't for coaching with marriage, it was only for business. I had to make sure that the integrity was kept in the group to say, look, if you ladies have problems in your marriage, you got to shut that down, and you need to be paying her for strategy sessions and doing what you're doing in order to get the help, because I love you all, and I can give you surface level help and sometimes a little deeper level help, but the point is talking about someone's marriage is exhausting for me, and that's just me being real. You could come with a problem from here to Timbuktu in your business, and it's going to turn me on to get you the solution, but with your marriage is going to frustrate me. And so this is why we're doing this quote unquote dynamic duo, to keep you from the shit hitting the fan. We want you to have peace, and we want you to evolve in your relationship. So you pass the mic.
There are so many things you said that I want to say, because one of the things I would say is that the thing is, when it comes to your marriage, and yes, Kanique, what you're saying about business and marriage and that you want to be proactive and not reactive, is because just taking that group, for example, when the things started happening with their spouse, and a lot of these were people who felt like they had a strong marriage, felt like a happy marriage, but when the dynamic of really growing their business came into play, the other things started getting opened up. Yes. It doesn't mean that everything's going to fall apart like all this thing, but other things started opening up. And here's the thing, those kind of things stop you. If you're in a position where you're really having a difficult time getting the support and really being able to connect with your husband as you're trying to build your business, it will stop you in your tracks from doing either to the full capacity. If you're dealing with something in your business and it's not thriving the way that you want it to thrive, and you're frustrated and stressed as hell, it's coming into your marriage. It will stop you from. So there are these stop gaps in your own transformation as an individual, as a business owner, as a woman, as a wife, and even as a mother. We're talking about this is life kind of stuff. Like, let's just be real, that it will stop you. So every time you're dealing with your business, ladies, and something happens in your marriage that affects your business, because it does, you're being stopped in your transformational journey. Every time something happens in your business and it's not going the way you want, and it affects your marriage, because it does, you're being stopped in your transformational journey. And I think that's really important, because we don't want you to be stopped. You know what I mean? Like that's the whole point of us coming together. Thank you. That's the whole point of us coming together. And the last thing I'll say that you mentioned about the money, I'll say this for me, and I know some ladies out there, maybe you can relate. When you have a job and you're getting that money, that check, it's like compensation for your own misery, right? Because if you're an entrepreneur, you were pretty miserable in corporate America to some extent. When you are making that money in your business, it's like rewards for your triumph in your own space. It's a different thing.
Girl, can you just say that again? When you get your check from your job, it's
right.
compensation
for your misery.
But when you get money as an entrepreneurial endeavor, it's
rewards for your triumph.
Damn, that was deep. And I ain't come up with that. I start saying, I'm hey, when you get this, it's like you can compensate. I'm steal it. And then I'll have some integrity.
We're gonna put it in a post-it. We're gonna say,
hashtag,
you came up with it.
Hashtag money, But no, that was deep. No, that is seriously, that's really, really deep. And so, what I want to add to what you said, and we'll begin to kind of close this out because we've been on for a while. What a lot of you all don't want to admit because you don't really see it. And I'm taking what she said and maybe just taking it one layer down, is that it affects how you show up in your business overall.
Yeah.
When you're, whenever you, a matter of fact, I'll use this as an example. There would be one lady where she would come on and we would do the group training. And it seemed like her husband always would act a fool right when he's having a group training. Oh, and I just didn't get this, and I'm gonna have to come back and I'm gonna have to watch the replay. Or she would be sitting there and she wouldn't be fully engaged. She would have to wait, and then something would spark in her, and then she'd wake up but then she still missed something, right?
Exactly.
She still missed that value. Or something would come up and it would be like, hey, we got to get out here. We're doing this promo for this. And then there'd always be those couple of people where it'd be like, oh, yeah, I know I've been kind of just gone, and this kind of happened. And, and then when they get to talking, it's like, oh, so you had to deliver with your spouse. Yeah. And so now you stop promoting your business as much. Because what do you want to do? You don't want to wear the misery of your relationship on your live videos. Yep. You're not feeling the energy when you get ready to post. So you're not going to post at all, or whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing. And you have to get to a place where you are fortified and you can manage those emotions and still build your business no matter what's going on. But on the flip side of it, you also have to manage your emotions and make sure that the dynamic, the love dynamic in your home still stays consistent, right. Not perfect, but consistent. Yeah. And this is what we're talking about, helping you guys with. So, where are you at? You had we had a conference.
Valentia, you tagged Cherie, said, I know you're a married businesswoman, so I wanted to tag you in this video there too. Awesome. Amazing. But thank you so much, Valentia. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. So I wasn't sure if it was a question. So the real deal is where are you at with your business?
Yeah.
Number one, are you satisfied? Do you feel profitable enough? Do you question whether or not you are able to charge more? Do you see other people doing it, but you want to, but you're not sure how to position yourself because people already seem like they cheap as hell and won't, don't want to pay you anything more than where you are? Do you want to take that further? Do you have a pretty decent price product, but you've been relying on referrals and you need to be able to have a stronger mojo when it comes to sales? Does your mindset get messed up? For me as the business owner, that's a business coach, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you with your strategy, your mindset, and sales. It's called package, price, and profit for a reason. Look at your packaging, look at your pricing, and have someone to challenge you, cheerlead you, be there for you, and say, look, no, I see more for you. The kind of more that would take somebody in my group from bragging about $1,000 sale to saying, oh no, wait a minute, no, I did a $3,000 sale. The kind of thing that would make somebody put a post up and say, look at this money that I got in my account. I got $6,000 in my account. The kind of post that would make somebody that was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, work my job and build my business, just say that she got yet another client after she had already secured, I believe, 3, since the program started, and she increased her prices as well. You want the dynamic, you want the support, you want the group, you want the information, no more spinning your wheels, because whatever you're dealing with in your marriage, it has a direct correlation to your business. And if you want to see that profitability increase, then you need to be talking with us and having a conversation about how you deal with these, moments that come with building your business and building your marriage.
Right. And while you're building your business, dynamics of what that looks like, and can you just said something that hit me really hard in the gut. Like, you just, I was like, oh, I felt that one because it's so true. That I know.
Then there's the woman who could probably kill it in their business, but they're dimming their light for the sake of their husband ego. I know that woman personally. I know her real very. I know one, like I know more than one, but I know them very well. And so you don't have to dim your light. Right. But notice how and my relationship kind of spoke to that dynamic, because my husband, we got to a point where he's like, okay, we're in a different state, we're doing different things. And even though I enjoy doing what I do with my hands, I would prefer that that's something that I do because I want to do it sometimes, that it's not what I have to do to make money. He sees what's possible in this business. And now because he's been working with me, he sees a different side of himself created from a creative perspective, and how he can insert himself online. And so now we are infusing those two things together. But I created this company. His branch off, his spinoff will come sooner than you guys realize it. But I still have to be a CEO, a boss chick, a badass business owner. But my husband never, ever doubts whether or not he is the king. And being able to shine your light and understanding that is your marriage. So my light, if I'm shining, we shining. Right. That is a dynamic that some women do really need help working through. True.
And we haven't gotten to that point yet, but I it's always in my head, you know, as the business grows, as my bank account grows, when he's, you know, in terms of what that looks like in the finances, what it means to be a man, what it means to provide, what it means to be a wife, those dynamics, you know, I'm like, they do come into play, and they will probably surface, you know, at some point in terms of some things that we're going to have to deal with. And the reality is that providing is much more than finance, you know. Absolutely. But all the men, I would say, well, I can't say all, but I would say 99% of the men that I do talk to, they equate a lot with the finances, with the money. And being able to, one of the things that I'm gonna, you know, when we do this is really help couples through is being able to eliminate those money arguments, being able to really talk about money and finances, whether it's personal or business, in a way that you feel like you're in partnership.
Absolutely. So guess what? We're gonna draw. Look, we've been talking. We just been talking. We've been going, and we know the dynamic of this is strong. You guys continue to share, get this out, tag people, let it be known. But we are gonna draw, and to make sure you all can't say that there's no hunky-dory business. Imani, close your eyes so they can't see that you're looking when you stick your hand in here and pull some. Look, let them see so they can be like, I don't want them to be saying that, you know, look, I don't even want to touch your hand. They'd be like, we guided you to someone's hand. Who is the winner of the session with us? What? Look, some of y'all shouldn't even be surprised by this, because she's been in every single video. She shared every single video. Look, can you look? Yeah, I was gonna say, can you guys see that? That when you went too far. Come back. You're too close. You're too far. Back. You see your name? It's to me. Look, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. The conversation could be with, you know, with the two of us. Yes. So we'll get with you and we'll set up an appointment for you to sit down. And to have the session with the two of us. But hey, y'all, if there's ever a competition for something, she's the sister to beat. Now, because you won this one, you can put your vote in if you want to share somebody's name for next time, but you won't be able to win twice. You won't be able to win in August. But Camille is the winner for this month and a half. For July, this week. I mean, for this month's Couch Convo. And let's see if we can start some healing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You know, take you to another level. I'm proud of you with what you're doing in your business, but you know, hey, you get a little bonus, something. So there it is. Whoop, whoop.
I know.
Now what?
I know, now what, right?
I want to just sit here and keep talking because I want you guys to be okay.
But I will say this, though, for those of you who don't already know, and you do want to take it to the next level of this. Yes. So for those of you who are live and those of you who are catching the replay, we are doing a for real, you know, laid back sip and share with a co-host sipper, August. So we are doing this for married Entrepreneurs is going to be our Boss Wives brunch, y'all. So you're going to bring your favorite beverage to sip on. We're going to have a virtual, it's going to be an intimate space where we can all see each other. Come comfy, come in your sweatpants, bring something to sip on. We have games, and there's some fun things to just have a laid back environment, but also still get some nuggets from both of us. So you get to see a different side of us, even though we're pretty wild even on here, but you get to see a different side of us.
It's all play and little business. This is more business than a little play.
Yeah. Beautiful. That is a perfect way to put it. That's exactly what it is. So hopefully we're going to see you guys at the next Sip and Share. All you have to do is say that you're in for the Sip and Share in the comments when you share this out. If you're listening to this because you shared it or your replay, just let us know that you're in for the Sip and Share, and I will put you on our list. But we're super excited about that because that's going to be fun, and it's not something that's going to be out here in social media land. So what happens in the Sip and Share
stays in the Sip and Share. And y'all, we done talked about everything. Money, sex, all of the above. This is her thing, you guys, but we're putting a business twist. So she's usually doing something for wives, for you to, lay back and chill and to get with some other women and talk about women-ish. And, like I said, you have coffee or vodka. We don't care what you got in your glass. It could be water or apple juice, but just be there and chill and be laid back. But this time we're going to add the component of that boss wife. So this one is specifically for the entrepreneurial wife.
July 21st.
Yes, this Saturday at 11 a.m. and there will be prizes for people who come early. Hey, Manita, thank you. There will be, different prizes for people that come early and whatever else we create in the middle of it. So you never know. We might have another one of these things. You can win. Don't be there or be square. Oh my God, loser if you're not. Okay, you guys, we love you. We are going to let you get back to who you are. I am August Crenshaw, your business coach, specializing in strategy, mindset, and sales.
And I'm Imani Isha, your marriage coach, and we can't wait to see you on the next Sip and Share. On the next Couch Conversations, and at the Sip and Share too.
And there it is. Love you guys. Bye.